Welcome back to the presidential suite at the Park Plaza Hotel in Boston, Massachusetts. We are going to continue discussing what happened in the recent Pro Smooth at the DBDC. We have now made the top three, come from Florida and finishing third in each dance. We had Roman and Galina, also their first time dancing at DBDC. So Diana, come on, spill it.
Well, I think that this couple, for me, has a great use of weight. I feel that their ability to release the energy into the floor and then regain it and pick it up, they have a great usage of that. A lot of times, you know, when you're judging, you might be looking in another direction and then all of a sudden you see this just force out of the corner of your eye, and it causes me to turn around and see them. So I think that that's a great quality. I do feel that they have a little bit of a, I don't know, they have a unusual style about them in some ways of their interpretation of some of the dances that it definitely sets them apart, and if it's what they're feeling, that's great. I just feel like that characterization, though, dance to dance to dance to dance, should be different. And I feel like right now it's the couple's characterization as a whole. I don't necessarily feel like I see a waltz totally different from a tango, totally different from a foxtrot. I feel like they do some cool stuff and they're good at what they do. Can't really, you know, say much bad about them. They're interesting, but I wish that they could characterize deeper inside the dances. Who's going next?
So now, Eddie, is it the couples that should be doing their own choreography, or should it be the coaches that we talk about here? Okay, coach, away you go.
Well, that is actually a very good question. And I think it's a good couple to talk about when we talk about that, because I think in the beginning of a rising star couple, coaches should do the choreography, because they need to help the couple understand structure, both on the floor and in musicality. But then I think that the more and more advanced a couple gets, they have to start working in their own, what is their name brand, I like to say. I remember it wasn't too long ago, I said to someone who was frustrated, he says, well, I'm trying to do this and this judge doesn't like this. And I said, well, no one has ever won and been a champion trying to please what everyone else wants. So you have to really deliver what you want. And I think that's why the couples need to have more influence in their choreography. Still being guided, because sometimes you feel something and the coach can say, oh, we don't really see what you think you're feeling. But I do think it's important. And I think that it'd be good for all of those couples to have sessions in which they just really work on what they want to feel choreographically, and really go out on a limb and try to develop that more. So to follow up on what Diana was saying is, I do feel this couple has something exciting and different about them. And at moments it really takes me. And that's when I usually reward them for it. Then there's moments that I feel like it gets lost a little bit. And that's always a danger in American Smooth of doing something artistic is can it be seen and read on a competitive floor? And I know that's difficult, because sometimes if you're doing a solo, it's much different. You can really do, so you have to think about that. And I think it's very possible, but I do think that that's something they need to continue to develop, to try to make sure that all of their intention is clear, clearly read amongst all of that's going on the smooth floor. I have to say Galina has improved a lot in her technical skills from her last partnership, and she always had some specialness about her dancing. And I feel with Roman, it's a really good foil for her with his technical skills. So I would just like to see them keep developing what they're doing and making sure it's shown very strongly and very clearly.
Marat, what are you going to say about all of that?
Well, it's not easy now to say anything after these two giants. I think I'm on the same page with Diana about this couple. I must say I've always been a huge fan of of their dancing, and I agree that there's so much about speed of what they do. I think the speed is their motive for everything, and this can be a good thing, and at times, like in tango, it's probably a good thing. But I find that in other dances, maybe a little bit more of attention to basic steps and the way you do your basic steps, through which you can actually portray every separate dance. Because sometimes on a really good couple, even if they do a complex figure, a very syncopated or very intricate, you can still see behind it a certain basic flow of a waltz or a foxtrot or a Viennese or a tango. And here, this is something that I think, I agree with Diana, they can improve in. Otherwise, I'm a great fan of them. All the best in their future.
Well, guys, hope you enjoyed your first trip to Boston and DBDC, and congratulations for being in the top 3. Let's see who was the runner-up. Okay, guys, do not go anywhere, because we're going to be back with more from the Pro Smooth at the recent DBDC that was held in Boston, Massachusetts.